My name is Baba Sise. I am the President of Global Youth Parliament Africa Chapter. We, the undersigned executives of Global Youth Parliament, hereby condemn the current political unrest in Sudan and call for an immediate end to the violence. The recent fighting between Sudanese forces has caused immense harm to the people of Sudan, especially the youths, women, and children, threatening to destabilize the region. I ask this question: where are the youth activists? The activists that when there is a problem in Europe, it is posted on their media. We are always the first to share those solidarity messages. Yet still, we have our own African country, Sudan. Not a single activist sending solidarity message for the people of Sudan. What is the essence of us fighting for peace? What is the essence of having peace activists in Africa? We all know there was a problem in Europe. You remember when George Floyd was killed? We all stood up in solidarity against the killing. When there is a crisis in Ukraine, Europe posed these problems. We all stood up and fight along with them. When the Notre Dame building was born in France, we all stood up. We shared this message of solidarity, and we all stand for it. When the 9/11 bombing happened in the United States, we all stood up and stand in solidarity with the United States of America. But today, Sudan is burning. We all shut down our messages as if we don't even exist. What is the essence of our activism when we cannot fight for our own problems? What is the essence of our youths in Africa when they have their own problem that they cannot stand firm to make sure that they fight against it? Africa is a continent where our mindsets are trapped, where we don't think of our own problems and find solutions for our own problems, but yet still we fight for other people's problems. They're trying to impress the West. Some of you want to get into their medias. That's the reason why you always stand whenever they are fighting for something. But yet still, there's a problem in Sudan. None of you have the guts to stand and fight against it. What is the role of the African Union when the African Union, one of their mandate is to maintain peace in Africa, knowing the fact that this war has started and is getting serious day by day? And who are suffering? The children, the women, the people of Sudan, those people that do not even know anything, do not even have any idea of what is going on. Yet still, none of us stand in solidarity with them. And we call ourselves activists. We call ourselves Pan-Africanists. We call ourselves, we love Africa. We don't love Africa. Because if you fight for it, who will recommend you? If you fight for it, who will even call you in their country? If you fight for it, who will give you money? These are the only things that we are concerned of. And we call ourselves activists. We try by all means always to try to impress Western ideologies. And yet still, when we have our own problems, we never stand for it. Then what are we? We are fake activists. Or neither are we activists that are sold. Are we activists that are selling our principles and dignity to the Westerns in such a manner that we forgot our values, we forgot where we come from? The war in Sudan right now should be everybody's business. Should be your business, my business, and everybody. We should all post as we always normally do. We should all post on social media and call for immediate military interventions by the African Union. What is the essence of the African Union forces, the sub-forces, the economic, and other forces that are here? What is their essence? What is their basic principle is to maintain peace. And yet still children, women, youths, students are suffering in Sudan and none of us cares. Our leaders are busy working for their own self-interest. Only things that they think of is hungry for power. But some are great, people like Paul Kagame. Some leaders are excellent because they know the value and respect the dignity of their people. I have not seen President calling an emergency meeting for the case of Sudan. Do you know the reason why? Because none of them cares. And yet still the people of Sudan are suffering. The people of Sudan are Africans. The people of Sudan found themselves in the continent, the most beautiful continent in the world, which is Africa. But today they're having a problem. None of us is sharing any flag in solidarity with them. None of us is campaigning against the war. None of us is standing against to make sure that the war in Sudan stops. But yet still, we were there when the Notre Dame building was bombed. We were there when George Floyd was killed. We were there when the 9/11 bombing occurred. We were everywhere on social media. So therefore, our main purpose is it to fight for the interests of Africa and fight for one common goal which the entire world represents? Or is it just to impress some few people so that we can get what we want? We are so selfish in such a manner that we lose our mindsets. We are so lost in such a manner that we forgot that Africa is the richest continent in terms of natural resources. God has gifted us, yet still our mindset is lost. We have failed this continent, and we will continue to fail it unless we discover who we are, what our values are, the dignity of our value. Africans don't need Western democracy. Africa needs a democracy that fits its values and dignity and culture. That's exactly what we need. And unless we discover ourselves, believe in ourselves, work for ourselves, Africa will never grow. I stand in solidarity with Sudan and call for immediate military interventions in Sudan to stop the war.